Ever since Noli came out, like what, 2 or 3 months ago at this point, I've just grown more and more pissed off at his entire existence. At first, when I tried Noli, I thought he was a pretty fun killer to play as and to go against, and to some extent, that still is true. But as time has gone on, I've realized something. Noli's possibly the worst designed killer in Forsaken. No, I think he actually is. Everything that he tries to do that's unique and interesting, he fails at. And I'm just become so pissed off at his entire existence. So I need to rant about this. Okay, first things first, let's talk about his hallucinations, right? His main selling point. This is what's supposed to make him a quote-unquote trickster killer. They fail in just about every single, application. All of the hallucinations are so incredibly obvious that it's honestly kind of pathetic. I mean, like, wow, look at that Elliot pizza that just manifested out of nowhere. Or look at the Dusakar shield that just comes from the sky. That makes lots of sense. Or look at the fake Nolis, and we'll get to the fake Nolis. Look at the fake Nolis that obviously move like AI. Like, I'm not asking for hallucinations to be, like, incredibly difficult to perceive, but, like, you gotta make them at least a little bit better. Because, like, it's just so obvious. His entire thing is that he's supposed to be a trickster killer. Yet all of his tricks are the most obvious thing in the entire goddamn world. How do you fail at the one thing you're trying to do? So, the fake Nolis. Possibly the most in-your-face hallucination. First of all, they're incredibly obvious. But the thing is, they're, instead of, being actually difficult to think as a real Noli after about the first 3 rounds of you playing against a Noli, instead of making them actually difficult and interesting to go against, they just made them fucking annoying. Because here's the thing, Nolis, for whatever fake Nolis, can interrupt it when you're doing a generator. A fake thing, something that is not real, it's not real, can interrupt an action, and these Nolis can stick around for like 30 seconds. You're just trying to do a generator, and then this fake Noli, he just refuses to let you. It's not interesting, it's not fun, it's just plain fucking annoying. It comes to the point where if I'm playing a Sentinel, and I'm being annoyed by a fake Noli for too long, I'll just use my stun on it to get rid of it, because it's just so goddamn annoying. And then, guess what? Guess what? Fake Nolis, for whatever reason, if you're playing Builderman, they can break Builderman machines. That makes lots of sense, and that's very fun to go against. The fake Nolis, they're not real. They're just part of your mind, can break your very real, very physical, that actually do things, Sentry or Dispenser. How does that make sense? It doesn't. I'm just gonna say it doesn't, and it's not fucking fun to go against. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Who? Like, if if it was unintentional, why haven't you patched it? Because I'd figure it'd be, it's a pretty important thing, considering something that's not real can just lock off one of your abilities. And if it's intentional, I'm sorry, that's just bad game design. That's just not fun to go against. If it's intentional, who thought it was a good idea, huh? Who thought? Genuinely, I want to know, who thought it was a good idea to make Nolis break your dispensers and sentries? And then, his other ability, because his other abilities besides Void Rush are fine. Void Rush pretty much fails on what it's trying to do to make it interesting or unique. See, Void Rush can bounce from survivor to survivor, which, you know, is a very interesting which is a very interesting idea in concept. In practice, there is no point or reason you would ever want to bounce from survivor to survivor. First of all, it's very rare when survivors get in a clump like this, where it'd be, you know, get in a clump where it'd be practical to bounce from survivor to survivor with Void Rush. Also, think about it. Every time you bounce to a new survivor, there increases your chance of missing your slam part of Void Rush, which is the actual part of, you know, that actually does damage. And Forsaken, as much as people complain and whine about targeting, you need to do at least a little bit of targeting to win. Because if you just keep switching targets, you're never going to win. So there is no purpose to ever use Void Rush. It would be more practical if the first part of Void Rush did more damage, but it doesn't. It only does a measly 10 damage. And considering that every time you bounce to a new survivor, it increases your chance of not hitting the slam part of Void Rush, which is what actually does damage, it's pointless. It's just 10 damage to do to like 2 or 3 survivors where you might even miss and not get to do the slam, which actually does good damage, is just poor game design. It just makes it bad. There's no reason you would ever want to bounce from survivor to survivor. I mean, because it'd be better to just, you know, do a good amount of damage, a higher chance of doing a good amount of damage to a single target. And I get that they recently made it so that Noli does more damage with the slam, does more damage every time Noli bounces from a survivor. But, like, it really isn't worth it, because every time you bounce, it increases your chance of missing, and you don't get all that extra damage. So the two things that would make Noli interesting and unique compared to the other killers is they're both terrible. His hallucinations are terribly obvious. His Void Rush there's no point in actually doing the bouncing part of Void Rush, which is what it's supposed to be the interesting part. It's just a walk speed override with more steps. And the thing is, all of Noli's kit needs to be reworked, because he is fundamentally not a trickster. None of his kit, you know, coordinates with his hallucinations at all. Even if his hallucinations were good, he still wouldn't be a trickster, because none of his abilities can trick. So it's just pointless. He quite literally is just Cool Kid with extra steps. So, yeah. I feel like Noli needs a huge redesign. Either make him into an actual trickster, or get rid of the trickster part entirely and make Void Rush actually interesting and actually good. Because Noli is just poorly designed. He's just poorly designed. So, yeah, that'll be it. I needed to rant about this for a bit, because this is something that just started to piss me off as I play more and more with Noli. So, yeah. This was not scripted, if you couldn't tell. So, yeah, if you liked the video, consider hitting the like button. Subscribe for more videos where I actually have a script and stuff. And, consider joining the Discord server, link in the description. It's a pretty cool place where you get to talk to pretty cool people, including me. So, yeah, that'll be it. I'll catch you all in the next one.